GDG after a good lunch. Can you all clap for yourself? So Chennai has become a very hot place. It's already hot, but technically it has become a hot place. So what is your expectation? Has it fulfilled GDG till now? The session is over. I mean, half the day has got over. So how many of you are happy? The session, whatever you've got. Okay. So from this side, what is something which you really learned, which you don't know, which was useful? Some volunteer. One hand. Google Cloud, how to host a server in Docker. Excellent. Okay, here. Any hands? Sorry? Oh my god, Nginx, right? Fantastic. Any other? Docker. Fantastic. Docker. It's cool. Docker purive illai. What about these guys? What is? Oh, startups are illa entrepreneurs are. Okay, great. So something or other you've got. It's a mix-up of starting up leadership. It's a mix-up of some awareness. It's a mix-up of how technically configuring Nginx and all those things. Yes, but somewhere you have to start coding, right? So, you're coding, Today I'm going to introduce you to a remarkable technology which is Polymer. Okay, so Polymer, yes, a lot of who's, at least for people who have followed it. So the whole web is going to transform, okay, and you all are here with me today to see the transformation, okay, which the whole web, the W3C, the HTTP, and whatever it is, the Google, the Amazons, everyone are going to change. And the change is new to Amazon, it's new to Google, but we are covering this today. Is it exciting? Yes. Yes. Because, okay, Glass, whatever it is, people like Google have worked on it, but what we're going to see now as a Polymer is something which even Google, okay, wants us to help them to implement it. Let's see what it is, okay. So, my name is Santhosh. I work for Tata Consultancy Services. I run a open source innovations lab for one of the largest client called Staples, and we do a lot of technology. I mean, it's a kind of a startup system within a corporate. Someone on the morning was saying it's not about where you are, but it's like how you are. So I'm an entrepreneur basically before TCS, so I thought, okay, why can't I do the same learning and everything within TCS? So there was a different decision making why I chose TCS instead, but good, it's going fine. I'm with TCS now, with the open source lab, and you can follow me here. This is me, and a couple of communities which I've been loving. Okay, there are a lot of communities I'm into, but these are communities which I love. One is GDG. I've been GDG for, kind of when it was GTEX, Google Technology User Group, and then GDG was introduced, and then we all started the first DevFest X, but unfortunately I was not able to be present in any of the DevFest. This is the first DevFest for me. So that's GDG Chennai for you, and Chennai Node.js User Group. We have recently started this user group to work on the Node.js platform. How many of you know Node.js? How many of you don't know Node.js? Great. So you will also be learning something. So Node.js is nothing but, I'll quickly tell in one word, JavaScript. Currently you are using it as a client-side library, right? If you're going to use it on the server side to develop the whole application, the MVC, it is called Node.js. Okay? Not Java, JavaScript. Okay, it's such an easy language. It's a declarative language. It's not a declarative, it's a prototype language, okay? A functional language, I would say. So, not an object-oriented, okay? But still they talk about objects, that's a different story. So, Node.js is one of the active user groups here, and Open Developer Network is a small group of 2,000 developers discussing about technology on Facebook. So you can go to these links and play around with these people here. And today's agenda, we are going to talk about components. We'll see what components is, and we'll be introducing Polymer and how you can join this revolution. Okay, the whole new set of UI design, UX design, how you people will join this. So what is Polymer? Web components. Okay, let's name it as web components. Then we'll introduce Polymer. Okay, so starting with web components. What is this? Google homepage. This is today's Google homepage. but we have to take a time travel. Okay, we have to take a time travel and see what is web components. Why web components is important. I think there's one more audio which is playing. Who's that? So yes, we'll take a time travel to see what it is. Shall we? So we'll take a time travel. Now we are in this Google. Okay. Sorry? 90? 98 எங்க வந்திருப்போம் நமக்கு தெரியல எங்க லேண்ட் ஆனோம் ஓகே 98 காப்பிரைட்ஸ் பார்த்து சொல்றீங்களா ஓகே so it's around 98 or 96 or something like that. This is the Google beta version. You can see the wonderful Google search bar here. I'm feeling lucky. All those subscription buttons, see all the fancy items. In 96, 98, this was web application, correct? A form is a web application. A form. A form having a text box, checkbox, radio buttons, drop down, that's it. This is the web application, this complex web application with all these sophisticated controls, right? And people who create this are called web developers, right? And this was the web overall. And slowly, what is this? This is an element, right? This is an element, right? And see, for those who are new to programming, for web design, the idea of software design, you're going to learn it today, right now. Next 15 minutes, you will learn the whole history of software development and how it approached and how things are transforming, so that you will be the change makers in your company to adopt this new change. It's happening in the internet. So these are elements, okay? How many elements we have? 5, 4, 3, 6. Label also is an element, guys. So maybe we'll put it all the labels as one element. Okay, so okay, fine. All the elements, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is this 10 or 9? 9, 10. We have 10 elements and it's a complex application. Forms were application on those days. And elements are the building blocks of the web, right? Everyone agrees? Elements were the building blocks. Everyone agrees at the last? Yes. And elements are encapsulated. How it is encapsulated? Correct? Select. Encapsulation is nothing but closing it with something, hiding it, or something like that. Whatever English. I'm a British English, you are American English, so you can take it in anywhere, right? So, encapsulation is like, here we are using tags to encapsulate, and this is the output we get, right? This is the output. And elements are configurable. We can configure the elements. This is how we configure the element. Give it an ID and say disable, disable, selected. So can you see all these disabled here? And one selected. Elements. Wow, you're a complex web application developer. Yes, you're rocking the world. Your paycheck is 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. Oh my God, you're doing all these configurations on top of the elements. Now, oh, this is one more configuration. Size is equal to 4, multiple, so people could select multiple. Now we are taken to the next level. The application is in the next level. Correct? So elements, first thing what you say, elements are encapsulated, elements are configurable, elements are composable. What is composable? Sorry? Made up of parts. Excellent. Composable is nothing but, I get a text box, okay, and I get a checkbox, and I put this whole form within some other container, and I just render the whole page. And this is kind of composing. See here? This is a small example which you can see. Select is one element, opt group is another element. So I'm putting this opt group within the select. So then it becomes like this measure is German cars. So I've given a group label German cars. So this is a heading. So this and this is an element, this is an element. I'm composing the element. Right? Elements are programmable. Now once you do that small element, the element is programmable. How is it programmable? You use JavaScript, correct? And navigate. And you just get the value out of it and do whatever operations you wanted to do, right? So elements are programmable, elements are composable, elements are configurable, elements are encapsulated. This was the program, this was the whole logic, this was the whole internet on those days. So what happened suddenly? Why are we talking with the complex design, material design, Google is doing something, Yahoo is doing something, whatever it is. What happened was, web gave all these basic components to the developers, okay, and said these are elements and these are composable, programmable, blah blah, and they left it. From there on, okay, W3C didn't have enough time to work on the core foundational elements. So they were focusing on HTTP protocol, authentication, network issues, and JSON. Douglas Crawford found out JSON, so that XML is very heavy in the traffic. So they were there to many other issues, many other serious authentication, authorization, tokens, all those things. Okay, they didn't focus on the foundational elements. So design keep changing. What happened was, what is this? What is this? From the back? It's a tab layout, right? Today, if I want to design this tab layout, simple tab layout, correct? Is it complex or simple? Very simple. A tab layout with 3 tabs, that's it. Okay, job done. But for this, I can write it like this, using Backbone or whatever it is, okay? Okay, using Bootstrap, Backbone or whatever it is. I can write it this way. I can combine HTML and I can use a JavaScript, correct? Somebody will think like this, correct? And somebody will think like this, I'm a JavaScript pro. Let me do it completely with JavaScript. Okay? Now let's not disturb the DOM. Let it only render and put it to DOM. Somebody will, latest people know. How many of you know AngularJS? AngularJS, very good. Great. Excellent. So you people say, I have learned AngularJS. It's a new framework. I know to do everything in AngularJS. So let me go and create a directive. Directive is nothing but which does some small job, okay? In AngularJS, okay? So let me go, it's like a header file, okay? So let me go and create a directive. So this is a directive. See? And the problem is, for a simple tab, okay, if I'm asking, what's your name? So Sharana. So I'm asking Sharana, create a tab. So what will you first think? I've given all the specifications to you. Now, in the coding part, what do you think?
What should be the tab name?
In terms of the coding or the language or what logic, how do you implement? This confusion you will go through, right? Which framework to choose? Am I going to use AngularJS? Am I going to use JavaScript? Or this is a big question, okay? And learning, relearning and unlearning is a big problem. Today I learn AngularJS. Facebook guys are coming and telling React.js. That's a fantastic thing. And Ashwin, where is Ashwin? Ashwin is left. Okay, he was telling Meteor.js. Oh my God, that's mind blowing. It's fantastic, okay? I don't know that. I just know I learned a little bit of AngularJS. Suddenly they're telling React.js, JS. Somebody say Istanbul.js, Lucknow.js, Chennai.js, okay, so I use Chennai, so people are coming with different frameworks. I can't read everything. And the problem, what is the problem here? I know the framework is a problem, but what is the fundamental problem is? Yes? What gives exact result?
More number of people contributed.
More number of contributed and more number of people blotted the whole with their own frameworks. What else? Sorry? Sense of? Absence of. Okay, absence of standards. Exactly. That's one core issue we are going to see. For the next 5-10 minutes, you are going to learn the whole thing. Okay? Absence of standards. See, internet, they gave P tag, H tag, A tag or some. Who designed these tags? Anyone know who designed P tag? Anyone know who designed the H1 tag? H1 na size out varnuma. So H1 tag, H2 tag, no, we cannot do like that, right? So somebody have developed this basic core standards and left the web all alone. Now is the time where we are going to redesign the web so that every one of you are going to contribute these tags. So tags is not something where W3C is going to give you. Tags is what? So your name? So Ganesh, what he will do? He will create a tag like Ganesh. Okay? Ganesh, what is this? Open bracket, Ganesh, then the tab, okay? What is it? Element, okay? This is kind of an element. So he creates that. Whomever in the world is going to use that element Ganesh, or whatever he has put into that element as a template will come to him. So custom tags, you are not going to, someone is told H1 tag, you are going to use H1 always. And so why can't you use H15 tag? Who's stopping you? So you can write your H15 tag, contribute to W3C, and you can pull it and anyone can use it. That is web components. Components are nothing but what is components? These are all components, right? Everything can be individually reused, correct? Okay, this cover can be reused, something can be reused. Similarly, components are nothing but you can create your own modules, okay? W3C modules, I would say standard modules and contribute to W3C. It's not contributing to W3C, it's contributing to the larger part of the web. Okay, so that is web components. Okay, so eventually what is happening here is we are piling up a lot of JavaScript frameworks. I'm going to use a tab layout. I'm searching on internet and GitHub is showing me so many ways of implementing it. Oh my God, if the actual web is going to give me a tab layout, I don't care about all these logics, which is not actually compliant. How many logics which you saw here was responsive? Can you tell? How many logic are responsive? No. Some are responsive, some are not responsive. I mean, I'm talking about the layout, responsive layout. How many are complete standards? Like when you validate it, it will not throw any errors. Perfect. It's based upon the Douglas Crawford's JavaScript guidelines. How many of you can prove? So without that standardization, you can't keep including a lot of libraries, right? And there are a lot more complex issues we'll see there. Okay, that's the reason. And see, our HTML is terrible. See here, this is the Gmail. And in Gmail, what you've done is this is the tabs, okay? How many of you are using Gmail? Not using Gmail. Sorry, wrong question. Not using Gmail. Okay, so you know this tabs layout, right? Social, promotions, primary. So if you go and right click and see the code, lot of divs. Is this readable by the way? Not at all readable. The HTML should be readable. Anyone can create a computer program which the CPU can understand. But good programmers write a program where humans can understand, right? Because in your place tomorrow there will be another person who will be sitting and looking your code. When I look at this code seriously, no. I'll be fainted on the spot. What is this? Even I'm an HTML pro or whatever it is, I'll be definitely fainted. No one will get the interest in looking into this code. So the problem is, we'll be sitting like this. Or we'll be crying the whole day. Okay? So what we can do for this? What we can do? Okay? So we can... Let's come back from the time machine, okay? So we came now. So what's the problem we are solving today in this session for the next few minutes is we have to write code which not only browsers understand but even human readable. Okay? And you wanted an app experience in all the devices, right? I have a watch, I need an app experience. I have a web, like a TV, I need an app experience. It's not, no one is interested to see a web application, correct? Everyone wants that smooth, native experience, app experience, right? So, to provide a single design which can scale up to all these, which can render itself into all different screens, okay? A universal design pattern is what the second problem we are facing, okay? So, one thing is the standards and one thing is the design. So, we are going to, through web components, we are going to redesign both of the things. So, here is a web component. Can you see this? Paper tabs. Now, tabs, you saw different ways of implementing it, okay? Just use paper tabs. See here, paper tabs, knowledge, history, food. Can you see that code? Dave? So how do you implement another paper tab? Anyone? Can you say how you're going to include another paper tab? Same? What do you add? After food, what do you add? Some more paper elements. So some more paper tabs you will add. Is this readable? Everyone could understand this piece of code because it's straightforward, it's not so complex. Okay? And that is web components. Okay, so web components are a set of emerging standards, okay, that allow developers to extend HTML. You can create your own HTML elements and submit it to a central repository where everyone can pull and use it. So it's more of standards, okay, and it's more of reusable code which you're generating. So I'm going to tell you 4 things, okay, and show you demo, a hands-on demo, how you're going to go home and do this. Is it okay? Fine? So I'm going to teach you step-by-step hands-on how you're going to do. Go to home and install Bower and try this whole web components by you. And I will say after this conference, every one of you are going to post your own element to the web. Okay? Let's start this. So what is custom elements? So custom elements are nothing but, see there are 4 things we are going to learn. The first thing is custom elements. Custom elements are nothing but this paper tabs. Okay? Say for example, I'm going to create a custom element profile, okay, that's easy for me to explain you. So, what's your name? So, Dinesh. So, I'm going to say profile, okay, like this, profile. I will write an implementation where if people are going to call profile, okay, and the close profile, the whole, whatever Dinesh has declared inside it as a template will be rendered here. And you can easily configure them. You got it? So for this custom elements, you can write your own elements. Like paper tabs is your own element, profile is your own element, or SRM University, people from SRM, okay, SRM is your own tag. You can write your own tag SRM. People whomever using SRM as a tag, some information which you have preloaded there will come there. And you can render it, you can change it, you can work with it, play with it, okay? That is custom elements. So this is how you actually play with that. So tabs equal to document.query selected or paper tabs because you have given the name as paper tabs, okay? Actually, you haven't given the name here. You have to give the name here, name equal to paper tabs. And here, you are seeing the event listener, okay? The second important thing in the web components is templating. So what is templating? Any AngularJS people can tell about templating? Yes? Sorry? Template files, yes. Whatever language you do, what is template file?
Like creating a skeleton of skeleton of anything we are making.
Okay.
Like HTML
Okay.
without any backend. You
It's a
can
placeholder.
yeah, it's a placeholder.
It's a temporary,
Yeah.
it's kind of a structured placeholder where
Yeah.
anyone can use it
Yeah.
and fill it with their components.
Yes, like skeleton.
So that was one good example, good definition. Okay, for what is the templates? So templates is nothing but a placeholders. Okay, you design your own placeholders and define it as a template, and you can reuse it. Okay, wherever you want. So till today, HTML didn't provide native client-side templating. Okay, with web components, they're going to address this problem. They're going to provide native HTML templating. So how do you do that? Template tag. Okay, how many of you know H1 tag? Okay, how many of you know template tag? From now you have to raise your hand. So it's similar to H1 actually. Sorry, it's similar to H1. H1 is also provided by HTML. This template is also provided by HTML. Currently they are provided. Okay, so you can just use template and within another template, and you can write your content here. So div, comment, image, and some script. So whomever is calling this template, this content, okay, will be delivered, will be given by them, and the template here, this will be rendered to them. Got it? The second concept. And the third concept is a wonderful concept. You want to keenly listen to this concept. Shadow DOM. What is that? Shadow DOM. This is one key problem this W3C is addressing through web components. What is Shadow DOM? What is this? A video player, correct? So, video player has a styling, and in HTML5 you will use this video element, src foo.web, M and controls, so that you get this control and you use this. Is it clear now? This is clear? Okay. So, this has some kind of styling, correct? If you do this today, you provide certain CSS for this, correct? What is that? CSS. What is CSS? So, you provide cascading style sheet for this to render this black color and all those stuff, right? No, you include that CSS, okay? And you have lot other elements in your page. And will that CSS get conflicted at some point of time? Yes or no? Yes. Say for example, there is a H1 tag here. Within this, I'm writing H1 is some color, and there is some other H1s within the page. Okay, and that will also get conflicted, right? So the CSS is applied throughout the page. You might say, I will query the DOM, I will select that particular thing div with an ID and then give that particular ID a CSS. It's not the right way, correct? So there must be a scope for CSS. CSS, if I define some ABC CSS, that ABC CSS should be only within that particular scope, some radius. After that it should not be. Page wide you can give a scope for a CSS, or an element wide you can give a CSS scoping. So this excellent concept they have, and JavaScript also. Can anyone tell this, has anyone you got this issue before in your programming? If you include two jQueries, some variable conflict will be there. Same variable name that one jQuery global variable will be using, another jQuery also will be using the same name. For example, foo. Foo is one variable which jQuery 1 uses. jQuery 2 version also it uses foo variable. Now will you get a conflict or not in jQuery? Yes. Yes? This is a very famous problem people are facing today because of different jQuery implementations. They are just like they're blindly going and implementing some jQuery from GitHub, and they are facing a hell of a lot of problem because of this variable conflict. This Shadow DOM, what it does is CSS scoping and JavaScript scoping, and even HTML scoping. Whatever elements you have, the scope of the design, the scope of the functionality only lies to that particular element. Till now W3C or web doesn't work like this. If you include two jQueries, there will be a conflict if the same variable is going to be used. If you use a two H1 are there, and you style one H1, another H1 also will get affected. Or you have to manipulate the DOM manually, and design keeps changing rapidly. How will you manipulate DOM every time and you go and give a different CSS for that, correct? So all these problems are being, so now see here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to see the, what is this? So the code behind this, and you can see kind of shadow root. Can you see this? I'm going to show all this demo in another 2 minutes. or 1 minute, okay? So can you see this shadow root here? So what happens is, there is a tag created by HTML called shadow root, and under which there is a div, and can you see some styling here? Where is the style? Some styles will be here, and this will be applied only to this shadow root, and whatever styles you are overriding here or doing something will be outside. So the scope of the CSS, the scope of JavaScript is only within that element. That's called shadow DOM. Shadow DOM. It's not DOM. DOM will not get affected. It's a shadow DOM. Okay. Now let me give a quick example. Someone from anyone. Okay. So you are going to create a custom element. You know what custom element is? What is it? So okay. It's a kind of an HTML element. Okay, you can override that, or you can create your own element. Say for example, you are creating your resume as a custom element. So people can open tag resume, close tag resume. There will be a template which is predefined by you, which will be filled there. This is a concept. Okay. Now you have given a design. Okay, for the whole resume to render. Okay. Now I am using, what's your name? Divya. So I'm going to use Divya's resume tag. So resume and open resume and close resume within my website. Okay. And she has styled the whole resume template in one way, in such a way. So I have my own styles. So you are using a variable called what is it? Anything? Okay. Color. Okay. Color. Resume color. Something. Okay. And I have some other resume or something same variable I'm using. Resume color in my code. Okay. So here Shadow DOM helps you. I'm telling an example. Okay. I'm telling. So here the shadow DOM is. So whatever element she has created, the styles and everything, the scope of that is only with her code. I mean her DOM. That is called shadow DOM. Got it? Clear? So that's shadow DOM. The fourth important thing is HTML imports. Okay. Quickly, let's see this. How many of you are Bootstrap developers? How many of you work with Bootstrap? Good, good, good. How many of you worked with the HTML? Yeah. When you, so she's asking, should we include a? When you declare an element, web component, okay, web component open tag, web component close tag, assume that whatever you put within that will be considered only for that. It's a shadow DOM itself. They have implemented shadow DOM for full web component. So you don't want to explicitly go and mention this is shadow DOM, no. For elements which you contribute to the web, because when you contribute some, she is contributing resume element to the web. Okay, the whole world can use a resume open tag and close tag. Some resume template will come. So to the whole world, she has contributed the resume element. Okay, they will not accept this element. This is some custom element for her, but still she has contributed this. Okay, so someone is going to use this. Okay, their CSS should not get break because of some variable conflict, because of some styling conflict. So what this standards people have done is, what Google has done it, the scope of whatever CSS or JavaScript, whatever she writes within her resume element will be only for her components. So that is shadow DOM. So we don't have to go explicitly mention anywhere shadow DOM. So whatever you write within templates is shadow DOM. Shadow DOM is automatically applied. Got the point? Okay. So HTML imports. Guys, when you develop an HTML page, simple HTML page, you have multiple imports, correct? You are including Bootstrap CSS, Bootstrap JS, React JS, or whatever. This is a Bootstrap application. You can see this is one link, this is one link. So how many scripts you are including? So W3C, not only W3C, this web component has come out with a model called HTTP imports. Till now, you people would have never heard about these things, correct? HTTP imports. That's what I'm going to tell you here. Using HTTP import, you can write it this way. Today in your organization, you can go and implement this. Link, REL, relation equal to import, and a single HTML file. And within that HTML file, you can include all these lines. Okay? You can use a single line and put an HTML there, and within that HTML, you can include all these scripts. Okay? You might ask me, that's same only, no? Anyway, the HTTP request is going to hit the same way. Am I writing it on the same DOM or same HTML, index.html file? Same HTTP hits I'm going to have. But you can use Vulcanize. Okay, there's a tool called Vulcanizer, okay, which you're going to use. What this Vulcanizer does is, it goes to this file, which file? This file, bootstrap.html. It picks up all these scripts. It will render as a single script and serve to you. So only one head. Got the point? See, in my organization, I develop a lot of web pages. In couple of web pages, seriously, in one web page, at least I might use some 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 scripts. Think about the network traffic. When I hit the page, that single page needs some 12, 13 scripts to be loaded. So you can use this import tag and you can configure vulcanize so that it's going to render it in a single shot. Got it? This is a new HTML import concept. So Grunt, how many of you know Grunt? Grunt is a JavaScript task manager. So you can configure vulcanize with Grunt. You can also use for Gulp. Okay, these are different tools for the front-end web developers. Okay. So what are the things we saw as a part of web components? Number one, custom elements. What is custom elements? User defined elements. You can develop your own elements and submit it to the custom elements, the repository. Second thing, what is templating?
Predefined skeleton.
Creating a framework is a little vague thing. Blueprint or placeholder. What tag you will use for templates? From now on, all you people all know template tag is there in HTML. Okay, this is a standard tag which you have to use for creating a web component. What is shadow DOM? Okay, why we go for shadow DOM? Provide CSS scoping and JavaScript scoping. Okay, if not CSS scoping, if I am going to not include shadow DOM concept, what will happen? See, today, GitHub is there. Git is there, correct? How many of you know GitHub is there? Google is there. Everyone are writing their own code and pushing it to Google or GitHub or something. And everyone are reusing the code, correct? And when you reuse, there is so much of files in it that you can't go every line and see all the variables are different. Sometimes the variable will get conflict. Sometimes the value will, something will get conflicted. So Shadow DOM is the very, very excellent feature where the scoping is involved. Okay, so now you use Shadow DOM and contribute any number of lines to the internet. People can reuse it happily because they know your style will not conflict their style. Wherever they can call the video element, they can call. So video element has individual style, your whole page has a different style. You will ask, if I want to change the video element style, what will I do? You can change it. That we will talk, okay? Next is HTML imports. What is HTML imports? Minifying all these scripts, actually putting it using import tag, link, import, rel equal to import, and then use one HTML file and configure it using vulcanize, so that it's rendering as a single shot, okay? So these are the things. So let me quickly go ahead. So I'll show you one example and I'll walk you through a demo, okay? Demo is kind of a hands-on, so you can write whatever you want and go home and definitely do it, okay? Any doubts you have, you can ask me right here, I will explain you, okay? So the first thing you have to do, okay, I'm a new developer. I joined a company called Amazon. So I'm walking into Amazon, my manager is telling, Santhosh, create a toolbar, okay? And the toolbar should be, you have seen this toolbar, right? Everywhere this toolbar is, if you click that, the slider will come, all the menus will come and it will move out, fade out, and there will be a refresh button. This style of toolbar I want. Okay, here the manager is telling me, okay, now what I should do. Having known web components, I can go to this website called customelements.io. Okay, custom, because see, there is serious problem in the world to solve. HTML, we can't keep writing HTML, JavaScript, CSS. That's not the problem we have. So we have to reuse, that's why I'm telling you. You might think, okay, this guy is going at custom elements and grabbing the code, it's not, it's against the rules or something. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't write the same code which everyone has wrote. So just reuse it and start focusing on the actual problem. So that's why, okay? That's a pep for you. So customelements.io, go to this site. I'm going to search web components core toolbar, and there is a lot of toolbars here. I can use that. So I can use a tool called Bower, which will fetch the packages for me. And Bower install core toolbar, Bower install core icon button. You might think, oh, you are not following. No, you will follow. Another 2 minutes, I'm going to show you that demo. There you will follow. Okay, just follow this whatever you can. So here, first what did I do? I went to the website. Whatever component I want, I typed and I got that. Okay, I imported it. Where I imported it, first is find. I found out the component. Second is import. In the head tag, okay, you are going to import it. How are you going to import? Using HTML imports concept. How are you going to import? Using HTML imports concept, okay? So link rel equal to import href core toolbar.html core icon button.html. What will be there in core toolbar.html? Lot of scripts will be there. Lot of JavaScripts and lot of CSS will be there. We are not worried about all those things. The scope of those things will be only with the toolbar. It's not going to disturb my element. So I'm just going the HTML page. Now what did I do? I found out. I imported it. It's not a new thing I'm telling you. It's just a hide it. Okay? I'm not talking anything difficult here. Next is use. You're going to use it. That's it. You're going to import it. You're going to use it. How are you going to use core toolbar? Core toolbar. Within that, what is the icon? And what is the name? And what refresh and add button. 2 buttons I'm adding. That's all. And you will ask, how do I know this? What all to add? The specification will be there in customelements.io itself. Or just you type core toolbar, control space, autocomplete, all the template will be there. You can just change the name and everything, that's it. So some guy in the world has created this core toolbar. This is core toolbar. Okay? This toolbar is a very, very responsive toolbar. You open it and even watch. You open it in TV, you open it in whatever device factors, your form factors you have, it will be perfect. It will be rendering perfectly. And we don't have, every developer don't have time to reinvent this concept once again. You want to talk about responsive layout, you want to talk about standards and all these things. So there is already there, so he is going to use it. So this is what, so let me have a quick demo. Before that, let's see the browser support. See, you might go tell, okay, web components has 4 important problems they are addressing. One is custom elements, second one is, what is that, help me? Custom elements? Templating and shadow DOM and HTML imports. Okay, if I want to use this, how many browsers supporting these things? Because end of the day, browser is going to render the page. So I wanted to find out the black sheep in this crowd. How many of you use Internet Explorer? How many of you are fond of Internet Explorer? Okay, so you are working for Microsoft? Okay, so what is that what is making you like that Internet Explorer? So that we can use Google Chrome also. I mean, we can implement that in Google. Anything specific what you love in Internet Explorer? Because your company provide only that?
Not like that. Internet Explorer is the standard that most people have. People who use legacy systems still use Internet Explorer. Okay, not all people have Chrome and Mozilla. So in order to develop applications, you also need to look at those people who use legacy systems too.
Okay, even I develop support for IE, but I'm not telling that just because that I love IE or the roadmap of IE. That's completely different.
Yeah, but with IE 11, I don't see any performance bottlenecks compared to Chrome. That's my opinion. That's why I like it.
So he's telling first reason is my clients use it, so I'm supposed to give good support for that. That's why everyone install it actually. Else we will uninstall that. Second thing is he's telling there's no performance bottlenecks, which is good actually. Which is good. The team is working on that. But one thing which IE is really lacking is the standardization. They have everything individual standardization. You tell HTML, they say XHTML. You say something, they say something. Okay, they have their own implementations. But that is something which even Microsoft is trying to work out because they wanted to have the larger community participate in them. That's a different debate. Let's keep it later. But the browser support is a key thing. Today, if I'm going to implement custom elements, I'm going to tell it to my manager. Manager, today there's a concept. HTML has old HTML and all gone. There's a new standard of HTML where we can write tags and contribute and we can reuse tags. Okay, let me go to customelements.io and use something in your project. Okay, he will tell, wait. Our clients are still using, as he was rightly pointing out, IE6. They have upgraded everything except IE6 because they love that browser. Okay, there's comfort, they're safe in that browser. Okay, so they didn't upgrade. Now what about the support they were asked, correct? So here is the concept called Polymer. So here comes Polymer. See, till now what web components we were discussing were all actual HTML5 getting enhanced. Okay, Mozilla. I think a speaker from Mozilla has come here. Some speaker from Mozilla. Hey Shreyas. So you know about your Brick project, Mozilla Brick. Heard about it? Okay. So Mozilla. Okay, he's working for Mozilla. So okay. Sorry. Volunteer, okay, fine. So he's a volunteer, so he knows better than the employee also sometimes. Okay. So there is a project for Mozilla also working called Brick, okay, which is designing custom elements. Google is working Polymer to design custom elements. So this web components, okay, not custom web components. So web components is a standard which is evolving. So every company can jump into the bandwagon and start creating their own project names. But end of the day, they are going to create web components which is reusable. Okay. So Polymer is something like that. So what Polymer does is they are taking the support. They're using something called polyfills. Polyfills is a library which Polymer uses. Okay, bear with me for the next 2 slides. Okay, polyfills they use to give support. That's all. Okay, I'm not going to tell much more this. See now here, IE. Can you see IE here? Can you see IE here? Little bit, right? And Chrome and Opera, okay. But Firefox only for the templates they support. But for the custom elements, Shadow DOM and HTML imports, they haven't supported much. See, whatever I say they don't support is not, they are not going to support. They are slowly implementing in their roadmap. Even Internet Explorer is slowly emerging, okay. They are also implementing all the latest things. But it is in a very slow phase, okay. But Google Chrome has taken all the initiatives, so they are with the Polymer. Can you see this? Can you see this? And can you see this? With Polymer, okay, when you use Polymer for developing a web components, you get a perfect browser compatibility. With all the browsers, everything works perfectly. If you're going to ask how, there is a lot of mechanism they have done for the polyfills. Polyfills is a project, if you're interested in that, you can go to this polyfills project and you can see what they have done to get this compatibility. To give you a visual representation, because of, yes, in spite of version, I think still they have a version dependency. 6 ella support pandradilla. So more than 7 or something, IE 7 learner support pandranga, and a couple of other things, okay. So here you can see, this is the diagrammatic representation, okay. So these are the different layers. So the first layer is native, the current browser landscape, whatever browser you use, any browser, okay, the browser engine, okay. On top of that comes polyfills, okay, this is web component JS, currently it's called platform, okay, it is currently called as web component JS, so web component comes here, okay, and Polymer comes here and your element is here. So you can create your custom elements in this space, got it? Clear with this diagram? You can create your custom elements here and it uses Polymer and it talks to the platform underneath your browser. This is the level at which your Polymer talks to the browser. Okay? See, elements, you're going to work your elements here, create your custom elements here, HTTP import or whatever, do all those things here, and it talks to the Polymer layer and it talks with the platform and then the native. Okay? Platform, if you're going to ask what it is, this is called polyfills. Why they have used platform? Can I remove this platform here? Can I remove this? If I'm going to remove this, that browser compatibility will not be there. See here, this slide you saw, right? The poor compatibility, because people are slowly adopting web components. Okay, they're using polyfills to actually give the proper support to all the browsers. Okay, so what other things Polymer do? So polyfills does this support of all browsers. Polymer, what it does is it adds syntactic sugar to your web components. Say for example, you're going to create your web components custom element. Let's take this example. So let's see the syntax for creating custom elements. So this is the default implementation for web components. You have to write it this way. Document or registered element, paper tabs or whatever tabs you want, the custom element name there, and prototype, object, create, that's an inheritance, you're inheriting HTML element, because it should be HTML element, right? It's an HTML element. So HTML element dot prototype, so you're inheriting prototypal inheritance, okay, and this is the custom implementation. For the Polymer, you don't want to worry all those things. You don't want to worry about inheritance, HTML element, what element to inherit, all those things. Okay, you just write Polymer element, name of your element, and under that whatever you can write is your element. Clear? Clear? So see Polymer element, name of your element, okay, say resume. So Divya was talking about resume element. So what you will do, Polymer element, name equal to resume, and under which you will write a template, okay, to create that resume. So whomever is using resume, open brackets, close brackets, okay, the tags, okay, your whole template which you wrote within this part, within the dots part, will be rendered. Clear? And how you are going to use it? See, paper tabs, paper tabs. So you just use paper tabs, that's it. Clear? So this is one more example. See, we are creating a button. So we are inheriting HTML button element here. This is a very raw implementation, vanilla implementation. Let's go for Polymer. So Polymer helps you with this simple syntax. What is that? How do you define a polymer element? Polymer element, name equal to whatever the name of the element. That's all. Extends button. Okay, extends button. Okay, then whatever you are writing here, you could write. Okay. Because paper tabs is not extending anything, but buttons you are actually overriding some default button characteristics. So you are extending that. So it is inheritance concept here. So you can extend buttons and just that's it. You can write whatever there, and you can use. So when you use this button, you have to use it this way. Button is super button. So for example, she has created some resume button. I'm just telling for an example. Okay, a button within her resume, which is once again a web component. Okay, that you can reuse. Okay, so resume button, that's a very different button. Okay, it's telling a thumbs up and it's telling submit your resume, something like that. So button is resume button. Okay, and close button under which they can configure the element. Okay, and whatever she has created for that button will be rendered here. Okay, so that's how you use it. So templates, how are you going to sugar code or make the syntax easy? What is templates? What tag you use? Template tag. So that's it. Vanilla has template tag, but here within Polymer element, you give the name of the element. What is the name? User list. And no script is nothing but there's no JavaScript inside the Polymer element. That's what we are telling. Don't worry about that. Under which you are using template and template. That's all. And here you can write whatever you want. So people whomever wants so resume template. Okay, she is creating Polymer element name equal to resume template. Under that template, here she is defining the resume, the CSS, the JavaScript and everything. Okay? And shadow DOM. What is shadow DOM? How do you do? So the vanilla implementation would be like shadow.inner.html like this, but Polymer is just within the template you can write your or link your CSS. So that CSS is only applied only with that template or only within the Polymer element. Clear? Clear? That's the shadow DOM. That's how shadow DOM is working. So currently we have U, H1, UL, P tag, what all the other tags meant? Head tag, body tag, okay? But how would it be if you're going to create like this animated pages tag, okay? Menu button tag, okay? Page scaffold tag. These are tags which you can create by your own. For your college, okay, you can create a custom web components repository where college endend applications use panranga, they can get the designs and the presets from this web components. Instead of writing the HTML and rendering it for all browsers, compatibility, responsiveness, standards and all these things. It's a very tough thing, okay? You can just write a custom element, you can write custom elements, you can do all these web components, upload it and people could reuse it.